Hello, here are some seated exercises, lying down exercises, both prone and supine for your body to enjoy. Rocky boat. I decide, belly button through to the small of the back. Begin to breathe. Inhale, followed by an exhale. I'm going to push off the floor very, very gently. Fingers, knuckles, hands, and just lift one side of the pelvis and then the other one and place it back down. Breathing, increasing circulation in your lower back and in your hips throughout your whole core. Some of you are able to go a little bit faster. When we go faster, we go smaller. Some of you are able to go a little bit bigger, and when we go bigger, we go slower. I'm going to do this again and just change to my diamond shape. At any time you need to change your position, open up through the legs a little bit more, find comfort, adjust for comfort. Inhale, followed by an exhale. Now watch as this gets big, 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 bigger. I'm going to go all the way over to this side and line up all the joints on that side. So I've got my ear, shoulder, hip, knee, all the way down, ankles, toes. And I'm going to look off in this direction. Notice the spinal rotation and look up very gently into the sky. Inhale and exhale. So make your way to the other side, and as you transfer, notice no kerclunk. There's no kerclunk. We use our core muscles for this. I'm going to line up everything on this side. You find your rib cage comes away from the ground, floor on the other side, and gently rotate. Feel that nice stretch through your neck. Look up, stretch your eyes. Excellent. I'm going to take one leg, put it on top of the other one, and float effortlessly to the other side. Watch as the arm comes in, you'll notice the rotation. Bigger stretch this time. Where can you go with that? Inhale, followed by an exhale. Follow that line back down. Draw a line in the sand with your toes and float over to the other side. Can you tell we are working with all of the core, warming it up, and making it a little bit more pliable. So I'm going to do that again. It's a big move. Some of you are able to start taking the arms away. And if you can do that, both arms will come up. And this has got a name. We call this taking the weight of the world off of your shoulders. That's what we call it. I'm not going to use my arms at all. Please do if you need them. Over to the other side, both arms coming straight up. Inhale. Exhale, and bring that back down. Fantastic. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see a couple of things. I'm going to wiggle waggle two sit bones and feel very tall. Lengthen up. The rib comes right up and out of the hip. Lots of space between the feet, between the knees. So the knees line up with the shoulders. We'll get used to that. First, let's make some space. Think up and over. The nose is going to go towards the knees. The chin, not, just gently into the chest. And some of you are going to be able to go farther down. Round your back to where you can. Inhale, exhale, lengthen back up. So now, let's do the opposite. I'm going the other way. Belly button through to the small of the back, and just hollow it out in here, really scoop it out in here. Use your arms to help anchor to your legs. Inhale, exhale, and let's go back to where we started. Think of lengthening up from the tail, through the hip, through the waist, and so on. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go inhale, up and over, exhale. Make lots of space in your back. Think of your lungs as oxygen tanks in your back. Stay there for as long as it feels good. You don't have to go with my timing. I'm going to breathe in, lengthen all the way up, and then I'll do the opposite. I'm coming down, 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 and make that big C curve. Can you tell? Starting to wake up some muscles in there. Inhale, exhale, lengthen up. If that feels okay, then let's take this a little bit farther. I'm going to round down a little bit more and then lengthen it back up. And I think you'll find that abdominal belt really, really has to work there. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Inhale, exhale, make the C curve coming down, down. Feel that nice stretch in your back. And then breathe, come on up. Some of you can go a little farther. Some of you, that would be about it. Let your back tell you what you need, what it can do. I'm going down just a little bit more here. Breathing, now I've got a choice. If I'm warmed up, I will be able to come all the way back up. If I'm not quite that warmed up, then I'm going to go all the way down. So here, you'll see my fingers and toes will reach towards the, I'm just going to slide back on my mat a little bit there. Fingers and toes will reach towards the walls. See how that feels? I'll stretch out on both sides. If the shoulders don't want to do that, then you're going to make a T formation or an L or a W, something in there. To help us out, shoulders, I'm going to cross the body over the face, over the head. Breathe and just make a circle around your body. Inhale. Exhale, coming up, over the face, around your body. Notice that upper arm bone is finding the floor. Notice the back hand eventually will find the floor. That's a W. We do that for these ball and socket joints, our shoulders. That will help you eventually get into your full extension. I'm going to see if I can float the ribs to the sky. It's going to feel like there's a big space underneath your back. Let that happen. Fabulous. Every day, every single day. Flex through the wrists and the ankles, and exhale, stretch it all back to the walls. I'll do that again. Inhale. Flex through the wrists and the ankles. Make sure it's the wrist and the ankles. Stretch it all back to the walls. Moving on. Bending one knee, bend the other knee. What happens here is I'm going to remove that little arch. I'm going to take the belly button through to the small of the back and anchor that down to the mat. And then let's take a look at rib coming towards hip bone. So I'm spacing that out. You can get in there with your fingers if you like, and then just flatten the back along the mat and then release. Put the arch back in. Let's inhale and exhale as you flatten and then release. It doesn't look like much, but it's a big deal to your lower back. Lower back people, this is really important for you. So I'm going to keep that imprinted position, and I'm going to curl the tail to the waist and the waist to the tail. You might not want to curl right away. Inhale, curl, and then think of rolling it back down. Stay with that if it's feeling comfortable. I'm going to take it a little bit further now, float the hips off of the floor, and begin the process of putting those vertebrae back down one at a time. Inhale, curling. Eventually, you'll be able to float a little higher into your bridge position. See what that feels like. And then think of one vertebrae at a time, like a string of pearls coming down, 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 each vertebrae coming down, and so on. If you like that one, stay with it. I'm going to take one leg up, and hang the legs out to dry, side to side through your waistline. And this should feel pretty good. Breathe. Think of a pepper mill. The lower body, waist down, is really doing the moving. Upper body, not so much. I am relaxing as best I can through my shoulders and my neck. I'm going to take my legs all the way over to one side and hold them down. Hold them down. Produce quite a stretch through your side, through your low back, into your hips, into your thighs. Meanwhile, back at this arm, see if the shoulder blade will go down, kerplunk. Some of you can bend your elbow. exhale, come back through the center, and let's try this on the other side. I have to use some core muscle in order to lower that weight down. Try not to take it in your neck, try to put it in the core. Hold the legs down. Meanwhile, back at this arm, clunk. You want the shoulder blade to go down, and maybe you can take a look at that outstretched hand on that side. Inhaling and lifting the chin up and out of my shoulder. Breathe. You can certainly stay there for a while. I'm going to move us on. I'm coming back to center. Notice how I pick up that leg. I'm going to get in there with my strong arms and do the lifting so that my back doesn't have to. Stretch one leg out and bring it in. Stretch the other leg out, bring it in. Belly button through to the small of the back. If possible, stay imprinted through this entire exercise. Some of you will be able to lift the head at this point. Some of you, nope, that's not for you. So I'm going to get in there with my strong arm and support the head as I lift, and I'll change. Support the head as I lift, and I'll change. If you'd like to hold on the outside of the shin, that's fine. Wherever you feel it's comfortable. If you don't need that support, it might look something like this, and I'm going to curl up just a little bit more. Breathe. Inhale, followed by an exhale. Inhale, followed by an exhale. We could put in one more step. I'm actually supporting, but I'm going to add the oblique piece now. So you'll see my elbow will go towards my knee. So I've got support and a lot more work, a little bit more of a challenge. Inhale, exhale, and so on. Fantastic. Let's turn onto our sides. And I'm going to take us all the way over onto the front. So however you get there comfortably, wiggle waggle when you get here. What does that mean? Well, it means one hip bone's going into the floor followed by the other hip bone. One hip bone, other hip bone. See if they'll touch the mat. Rest the chin onto your spine holder. We call this the spine holder. You might have one potato. You might have two. So, wiggle waggle. Hip, hip, hip. Then stabilize the pelvis by using your core muscles as you bend your knees. Alternate. And hips don't move. Okay? That is not that easy for many, many people. So it's a good barometer. It's a good test. It's a little assessment move. From here, they both come up over to one side, over to the other side. This is called windshield wiper. Allow the hip to float up off the floor. And then breathe. Exhale. I'm using core muscles to bring the legs to the other side. See if you can relax through the neck, through the shoulders. Adjust for comfort. After that, reach behind. See what you can find. See what you can find. Maybe it's a pant leg. Maybe it's a sock. Maybe it's a shin bone. Wherever you are, possibly you might be able to come up onto your elbow. So this is time-lapse photography. This might take some practice, and it's worth it. Lift up through the chest, throat, chin, up and breathe, and then gently release the pieces. This is called unsitting. It's the opposite of sitting in a chair. It is. It is. I know, it doesn't seem like it. Where can we go on this side? There's my back extension. I'm going to see if I can connect. Don't struggle, don't force. Just see what you get. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the stretch up from here. And try to release the tension there. Okay, coming out of that, release the pieces. Go back to your wiggle waggle. just going to turn us onto our side and very gently bring us back to a seated position. Keep breathing. Sometimes, especially when we're just getting started with our mat work, you can be lightheaded. That will go away eventually. So move slowly, half sit, take your time. Come on back to a full sit. I'll inhale, press it over to the sky, and say thank you for following along with me. See you next time.